like a... Try to actually keep it short this time. So I describe some various, daily sort of events. Okay, like yesterday, I went to go do my laundry, right? Went to check the mail, do my laundry. As is kind of usual, I see like undercover, I don't know, cop, red cars or something sitting around parked, and sometimes it seems like I get followed by people that I don't know exactly who they are, but like nice fancy cars, nice fancy, fancy way of dressing and things like that. And then I don't know, anyway, skip ahead, I go do my laundry, and there's like one dude that's there doing his laundry or whatever. He's got like a fucking semi-automatic handgun open carrying on his hip. And he looks like, by the way he was dressed and his hair and facial, everything, basically looked like, you would think he was almost like if you saw him leaning up against, sitting down on the ground outside of a grocery store or under a bridge somewhere, you would just assume this is some homeless person, basically. He's just doing his laundry with a fucking pistol on his hip. Got this woman with him that looks, most of the time, a lot of the time, just looks like totally out of it, or like, I don't know, frightened or super depressed. Like, God. You ever see the prophecy movies? Remember, God, what's that chick, that actress? She was in like, God damn it, Clueless or something, right? But God damn it, Julia, no, I don't remember the actress's name, but like, she played, okay, like in the first prophecy movie, there's this dude that's some pizza delivery guy, and Gabriel brings him back to life and makes him basically drive him around and stuff. Well, in like the second movie, he brings this girl back to life, right? And it's like the same sort of deal, right? But you know how like she looked all fucking super bummed out, like pissed off, she kind of had that look on her face, and she looked kind of similar, so that's what made me think of it. Same sort of Brooklyn looking kind of. Anyways. So yeah, one dude walking around with a handgun out in the open, and there's like some other dude in there with a big knife on his hip, out in the open. And I just went in there and did my laundry and was like, all right, just kind of watch my peripherals and stuff, watched reflections, watch my peripherals. And then I'm like driving back to the motel, and there's like there's like numerous dudes that look like gangbanger type looking dudes or whatever, and there's some guy riding his bike down the street, or somebody riding their bike down the street, or somebody's bike down the street with like a fucking creepy clown mask on. Like some devil clown mask or something. No, and that's just like, some of the weirdness, but like the weirdness is so far beyond that, like, and this is kind of goes towards like Mandela effect sort of stuff. I've tried to describe some of the stuff that happens before, but that's just kind of describing a single day, But I'll get people like, if I'm at a motel or something, I'll have people like hanging out, decide to choose the door, like right outside the door where of the room that I'm staying in, is like a hangout spot, and street theater type of stuff. If you have any, knowledge about that kind of thing, right? I used to have like major street theater that went on across the street from where I lived before. I mean, there's crazy as shit, like tons and tons of stories and stuff. But like, no, I've got, what was that movie, The Adjustment Bureau, or like, that's kind of, or like, let's see, yeah, They Live, there's The Adjustment Bureau. What was that movie with the chick that, like, they erase her son from existence, and and everyone's like gaslighting her, trying to convince her that her son doesn't exist. They erase all the pictures and videos and everything and brainwash everybody so they don't remember, and she remembers, and psychiatrist fucking with her and everyone's fucking with her. And then anyways, yeah, in the movie it turns out to be like aliens or something that are, but whatever, Like, that's the kind of shit that I go through on an almost daily basis. Like, anytime I have to, like, go somewhere, basically, there's, like, some layer of shit like that, and sometimes it's like you'll see the same people around, too. Or the same exact types of people, no matter where. I mean, I could drive 100, 150 miles away to somewhere at the coast or something, and step out of a motel room to go smoke or something, and it'd be the same kind of people, or maybe even people that I recognize, fucking hanging out in the parking lot, like fucking staring at me and shit, Yeah, pretty much, I just gotta be like, oh, yeah, walk around like this is all perfectly normal. Like, oh, look, it's a guy in a serial killer clown mask just riding the bike down the street. That's normal. Oh, look, there's a group of people that look like gangbangers hanging out right out front of the hotel room. That's perfectly normal. Oh, look, there's some, foreigners having an argument and cussing at each other right next to me or right out front of my place. It's just like, or look, the cops are there, it's just all kinds of like shit. And it's like, when you talk about like government type vehicles and stuff, the weird thing is like the alteration of fucking like seeming alteration of physical reality. Like, for instance, like, now this is like a Mandela effect sort of deal, right? Mandela effect encompasses a lot more than just like the name changes of products and people names and things like that. I mean, there's a lot of weird shit, like, and I've experienced the stuff, and other people talked about it. Most of the, radical videos that talked about the real fucking Mandela effect shit either disappeared off of the internet, or they just have almost like zero views and are hard to find. I don't know, one woman has a channel where she might have a couple of her videos up, that one of them she talks about how there's this, she walks around the block, by her house. She goes for walks, and when she goes for these walks, she always picks an orange out of this orange tree that's in their, somebody's yard or something that she walks past, right? And then one day she walks past, the orange tree is gone, right? But then later, days or a week later or whatever, she walks past the same street again, and the orange tree is back. That's like an example of the Mandela effect. You know, that an aspect of it that people don't talk about, or like other other people have shown and even had pictures where they take a picture out their window of their backyard showing some house that's like close, much closer to them, and there'll be another picture where the house is much further away because it's like reality has been altered or something one minute, to where a house that was like 100 yards away is now like only 150 feet away or something. It was practically their backyard, and then it's back where it was before or something, right? And there's a lot, there's one dude that made a bunch of videos. He was like a Uber driver, like cab driver, drove a lot of people around. I think this was in like California, or it was where he drove. He had a lot of fares, so he drove around a lot of places. He knew where everything was, knew where the motels were, he knew the streets, And he talks about things like, one of the things he said was there was this place where there was this mobile home park that had been there for years, and one time he drives past where this mobile home park was, and there's this big, like, golf course country club there. And he asked about it and finds out that this golf course country club had supposedly been there for like, 20, 30 years or something, right? And, he also talks about other things like how, like, the motel would be on a different street from what it was, and it's a totally different motel. Shit like that. And I've seen stuff like this where, like, there was this church down, this is just one example. There was a church down, like, Oak Street or something, kind of, we're close to this park that goes across a bridge, and, like, I don't know, there might still be some other kind of church there, but the church that I remember being there is now over by, like, a different street, way further down, And I've seen, things like factory that looked like it would have taken a long time to build. But it doesn't, it's not just that it looks like it would have taken a long time to build, it's that it looks aged, like it's been there for, tens of years or something at least, and on a road that I've driven thousands and thousands of times. And one day there's just a factory there, and the road is all diverted around the different direction. You got like different roads that weren't there before, and all this kind of shit, stuff like that, right? That's the kind of like Mandela, or like, one day the traffic lights got, the green light, and then on top, and then yellow, and then red, and then next time you're driving around it's red, yellow, green, and the red's on top or something, or like the traffic lights look like they've been changed out and they're just different, things like that. And sometimes you'll go in place, you'll see stop signs look different, or you'll be driving past driving down the street, you drive by say Rite Aid, Taco Time, various places that you've driven past, thousands of times around a neighborhood, or, Taco Bell, so on and so forth. And you'll see that the sign is different, but not only, it's like a different color. Like one minute the sign, one day the sign is like brown with black lettering, and another day it's like blue and white with it's like a blue shape with surrounded by white with like white lettering, and another day it'll be some other color, and or like Walmart, the way the lettering is spelled will be different, and the letters will be a different font and bigger, and brighter colors, or new symbols will be on the bill, things like that, or like the parking lot design seems to change, but and it looks like it's, you know, completely different than the way the parking lot was before. And yet you can see like layers of moss and like faded paint on things, you know, so it's like not like they just did it, it's like it was done, you know, a long time ago, like it's always been that way kind of shit, you know. Or like another example, there's this old house that is down over by where I used to live. I had to drive past it every time, you know, go to town and back or whatever. And this old, you know, old abandoned house, been there for many, many years, and the sticker bushes were growing over it and stuff. And one day I drove past and I looked over and I'd seen that the house was just gone, and it was like an empty lot, and the sticker bushes were gone, the house was gone, it was an empty lot with like a realtor sign, like for sale sign in front of the lot. And I was like, oh, they tore the house down and cleared it out, okay. And then later on, you know, a week later, 2 weeks, whatever, I'm going to the grocery store or whatever, I driving back and I look over and fucking house is back, you know. You know, and other shit like that. Or like, you know, on the same street there's like a bunch of houses where things change. Like there'll be one day, you know, there's this big fucking house in some lot, and then a week or 2 or 3 later or whatever, I'll be driving the same again. I'll just happen to look over to my side where this big house was, and it's like empty, or sometimes instead of there being a house there, there's like framework, like they're building this house, and the house that they're building is the same house that that was there before, already built, you know. Or another instance would be like this tree over by this convenience store, right? There is this tree, because I would park in about the same spot, kind of by this, you know, dumpster in the corner side of the store, you know. And there was this big tree. It's not just that, but like there was also a sidewalk across, and the tree was like, okay, so there's like a lawn, then how do I describe this? Lawn, sidewalk, more grass, then road, right? There's the lawn, then there's a narrow sidewalk, then there's like a patch of grass almost as wide, about as wide as the sidewalk, and then the road, right? And this tree was like almost directly behind basically where I would park in that spot. And I show up there, you know, it was like around winter time one day, and park in this spot, and I see that there's like a tree that's kind of in somewhat similar position, that looks like it's been, you know, cut with chainsaws and stuff, not all the way down, but like, and but it's not in the same spot, and it's smaller, and I don't see any remnant of the tree that I remember being where the other tree was. And there was no like sidewalk, then grass, then road. It was just sidewalk, road. No, wait, I'm sorry, I take that back. There was no sidewalk, there was just grass and then road. Anyways, you know, just trying to get it correct, because these things can fucking change, you know, change up. And then like another time, weeks or a month later, I go back to the same store, and there's a tree that looks like identical in shape and everything to this tree that had been there, except it's much younger, and it's in a slightly different spot, but it appears to be the exact same tree based on its shape and everything, but it's in like a little bit of a different spot, and it's significantly smaller, like years younger, you know. And the same thing with this You know the trees that have those leaves that look kind of like pot leaves, but they're like purple? Well, there was this really tall, big one on the corner, like where I'd walk from where I used to live, and you'd take this corner to go to this convenience store, right? There was this big tree like that, and then that tree was, one day the tree's gone, but the same plant is there, but it's like barely taller than me, when before it was like 100 and some, couple hundred, however many feet tall, And then there's just this little like thing that's like a bush there that's the same thing, but the big thing is gone. Other things that will change will be like, you look out your window, right, and you see your neighbor's porch light, and your neighbor's got a porch light with like a fixture that has like one bulb in, centered kind of porch light, and then another day you'll happen to look over there and there's like a fixture with like two bulbs, and then a little while later you look across at night and there's the one bulb. Another day you look over and there's like four bulbs, and it's just like there's a different light fixture just flip-flopping back and forth. Or you might like look across in your neighbor's house, it is like a different color than it was before. Sometimes it'll change back and forth, shit like that, right? Or say you drive past some place you've been driving past many times, or walk past many times, and you know that they have this like 6 foot tall chain link fence that's always been there. And then you walk past like another day, or you drive past another day, and there's this old wooden fence that looks like it's, just falling apart. It's been there for, many years and just almost rotted, right? And then later on, they put in a brand new chain link fence, just like the one you remembered being there before. Shit like that. That's what people don't talk about with the Mandela effect, is that shit. And that, or other things will be like, the types of cars that, like government vehicles, like cop cars and ambulances, garbage trucks, construction vehicles, things that are, pretty recognizable, right? And it'll be a completely different type of vehicle with a different type of paint job. Sometimes if they have flashing lights, the flashing lights will be a different color than you remember them being. The siren will sound different from one day to the next. So it's like not consistent, or not like you remember, And you can't like catch consistency with it because things are like ever fluid, ever changing. So one day it's like, I don't know, black and white with a little blue to protect and serve, and it's red and blue lights, and like, and then another day it'll be like totally different kind of paint scheme, different bodied car, lights are entirely blue and the siren sounds different, shit like that, right? Like a yeah. And then another thing you get is like weird shit that doesn't even make sense. It's like, it seems like it's just a show that's being put on, Like I might drive past a church parking lot or a school or something, and then I'll see like, 50 or 100 like high school kids fucking holding fucking AR-15s and doing rifle drills or something. Or I'll see a fucking people walking down the street in clown masks, or, weird fucking shit like that, I'm not the only fucking person that deals with this shit, and then, it's not like You know, you just see weird I mean, if I really got into all the weird crap I've seen, like, but like it's, you know, it's real shit, and it's not fake. It's not like I'm tripping balls or something. Like, no, this shit really fucking happens like that, man. And I kind of feel like most people that talk about, you know, Mandela effect are either just like looky-loos, or the people that are allowed to talk about it are either just like looky-loos or new age or hipsters, or they're fucking like some kind of controlled opposition type people or something. I don't know, because, well, I don't know, you tell me, like, because if I was to go on and do like a live stream about the Mandela effect, and I could start a brand new channel, name it Super Mandela or some, whatever the fuck, right? And I could try to produce the best video, like put out all kinds of great content, and I could do this like every single day for like a year. And at the end of that year, like if I was lucky, I'd have like one fucking view on my videos or something, you know. But then somebody else will like open up and start some fucking channel, and like, you know, a month later they've got fucking like 60,000 subscribers, and everybody's talking to each other and they're buddies with each other, and you know. It definitely feels like, you know, it's like I'm in a goddamn video game or something, you know, like a really fucked up kind of video game. Like it's some kind of weird scripted fucking show or something being put on. Ugh. What the hell am I thinking going for this, like, flat, stale fucking beer that's sitting in there? Ugh, just left over in the bottom of a glass. Yeah. Very little bit. That was what the yuck sound was about. But yeah, it's like, it's fucking great. That's one of the reasons, like, I don't talk about the Mandela effect a lot, is because, like, and all the other weird, like, sort of sci-fi level fucking weird shit that goes on. Because it's like, you know, who's gonna believe me? And besides that, it's like, you know, nobody wants to hear about, like, the real shit, I guess. You know, people are, you know, like, if I wanted to make a video about how, I'm telling you guys, it was Berenstein, you know, I'm telling you guys, she said, mirror, mirror on the wall, don't you remember? You know, I'm going to put out a video about how Forrest Gump said life is like a box of chocolates. You know, that's what people are still doing, like, what is it, like fucking 8 or 9 fucking years into this, you know, big fucking burst of people finding out about this shit. And people are still like, bro, did you know that Pikachu, like, totally had a black tail? But, like, he didn't, man. You know, that's still where we're at, basically, is like, it's fucking, and, like, nobody fucking hardly gets into any of the real shit. Or they're like, did you see this new Mandanimal? Like, yeah, great, cool. You know. It's just like a big fucking circle jerk and echo chamber, basically. Where nobody talks about real fucking shit, basically. And there's like 1 or 2 people in existence or something that just get like, I have 100,000 subscribers. Come and watch me. I am the only person that talks about it. Trust me, bro. But what happened to all those other people? I don't know, bro. They just stopped making videos. They are not on YouTube anymore, or anywhere for some reason. Right? No, but it's fucking. It's like it's fucking crazy, man. Honestly, like, yeah, if I just win the lottery or something, I would totally just want to, like, buy a good, decent enough piece of size land, a decent enough sized piece of land, so that I could just have, like, some distance between me and the road, and distance between me and neighbors, and, like, tall bushes or trees or fence or whatever the fuck all the way around, big gate, floodlights, surveillance cameras, reinforced doors and windows, motion detectors, dogs, just fucking Howard Hughes the bitch, man. Just about, dude. Be like, fuck you, I'm gonna stay in my cave. Let's stock up on years and years worth of food and water and grow a garden and just be like, fuck off. Goddamn Matrix. Fucking Matrix. Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. You could have been a contender. Oh, shit. Nah, but it's fucking ape shit, man. World is fucking crazy. And see how somehow my allegedly short description of what happened just the other day became a rant about the Mandela effect and the changing of physical reality and alteration of the multiverse or simulation or whatever the hell we're in here. I'm just waiting for the dragons to show up, or like the aliens to just pull off their masks and be like, "Deep blap, deep blap. I am from planet Fragfrugel." Whatever, man. The fucking squadrons of UFOs gonna land everywhere. Some shit, some kind of crazy ass shit's gotta happen. I mean, because pillars of light and rainbow mountains and pink lakes and fucking rivers of blood and millions of fish and things fucking washing up on the shore and goddamn seasons changing, sun and moon changing, and birds dropping out of the sky. That's not fucking weird enough. Gotta have fucking guys in clown masks and all this other crazy ape shit, getting crap and symbolic crap everywhere. Yeah, there's so much like symbolism and jocular shit here too. Like, it's gotta be a fucking simulation. Because it's way too fucking crazy and to be like it would have to be like somebody like sitting behind a fucking keyboard or something, dicking around with the code of a video game kind of situation, That's because the shit that goes on here is like, this can't be real. And then the more you let on that you recognize how fucking weird and crazy it is, the more weird and crazy it can get, Or the more you try to talk about things, or if you're trying to like improve your life in any sort of a way, That's when the extra crazy shows up, Every fucking thing comes out to try to stop you, I think I'll take a left on this street. Oh, look, there's a fucking goddamn herd of deer in the middle of the street, or a flock of geese standing in the road. I can't go that way. I'll have to take a right, you know. Or you want to take a right. Oh, look, there's a bunch of construction blocking me. I can't go that way. You know. It's like literally fucking Truman Show meets The Matrix meets like They Live meets fucking Invasion of the Body Snatchers meets, you know, goddamn Twilight Zone fucking Gaslight, you know. This is Nuck and Futz, man. Nuck and Futz. But not that anybody gives a shit. Alright then.